What the bloody hell are you mob doing out here? Hide and seek, is it? Wolf Creek 2 is the long-awaited sequel to the cult horror film that some may call an Aussie horror classic, and it stars John Jarratt, Ryan Corr, Philippe Klaus, Shannon Ashlin and Gerard Kennedy, and is directed by the same director as the first, Greg McLean. Now, I got this DVD from the library, the Wolf Creek 2 DVD, and it's the MA rated version, the cut version, and it didn't work in my DVD player. I tried everything. It was scratched to hell. I tried cleaning it. I tried putting in this special cleaning disc into the PS3. I tried it in different DVD players. It just didn't work. The disc, it was fucked. So I really wanted to see it and review it, so I streamed an online version, and this must have been the uncut R-rated version, because this movie is messed up. There's explicit decapitations, there's severed genitals, there's just about every gross horror thing you can think of is in this film. So yeah, it's a fun time. And the trailers, they made it look very actiony. There was a lot of car crashes, you know, cars rolling over and chase scenes. It made it look sort of like Mad Max or like Fast and the Furious or something. But it's not that kind of film. This film is very, very graphic. 10 or so years after the first, we're instantly exposed to a scene involving Mick Taylor, played by Jarratt, and two cops. After this scene, we get a pretty good idea of the kind of film we're in for, because Wolf Creek 2 takes whatever horrific affairs took place in the first Wolf Creek, cranks it right up to 11, and slams it in your face for basically the entire runtime. The general plot outline is watch Mick sadistically slaughter anyone who you might think might be able to save the day and rid the Australian outback of this pig-hunting, serial-killing, tourist-torturing maniac. But Mick's up against one of his more challenging victims, a Brit, played by Ryan Corr. A deadly game of cat and mouse and psychological wits ensues. So a few differences between this and the first is that the first took a long time just to set up the characters, and it's so long before we actually see Mick Taylor that the film's sort of more of just a crime thriller. There wasn't all that much horror in it, thinking back on it. This one definitely has a lot more prominent horror elements, with smears of very dark humour thrown in. There are some laughs to be had in this film. As twisted as I feel saying that, there are funny moments. Another difference is that Mick is essentially the main character. We're really put in his shoes, and a lot of the time we see the almost non-stop carnage unfold through his eyes. Now, there's a bit involving kangaroos in this film that seemed really cartoony and silly, and yeah, it seemed like something that belonged in the film Kangaroo Jack. But there's another bit involving a horse, which was awesome. One particular shot of Mick riding a horse into the sunset was legendary. Does the film have the same level of sophistication and character intrigue as amongst the victims as the first one? Absolutely not. Is Mick's dry charisma right up to par? Absolutely yes. Does it have some degree of intensity and suspense? Holy shit, yes. The last 10 minutes are just jaw-droppingly suspenseful. In the last half hour, Corr's character executes some really interesting and outside-the-box victim-to-torturer tactics. I won't spoil the style of it all and the character arcs that occur, but yeah, the last half hour is both intriguing, scary, funny, and nail-bitingly intense, and it really is interesting what McLean did with it all. I really liked it. I'm not sure if John Jarratt and Greg McLean will return for another installment or adaptation of Wolf Creek. I kind of hope they do, because like I said, the films are intense. I like what they do stylistically, and the character of Mick Taylor, let's face it, he's one iconic character. But we can speculate all we want on what a third Wolf Creek might bring, but one thing's for certain, it'll be a bloody ripper. Thanks for watching, guys, and as always, feel free to subscribe if you would like to see my thoughts on a nice wide variety of different films. And yeah, I will see you next time.